We are on a yellow school bus about to get to Tornillo to protest the separation of children from their asylum-seeking parents.
We are working together as teachers, as leaders of faith, trying to bring books to them, supplies. I think that it's very important that we have a voice for those children.
We are here as the AFT and 13 other entities and many other supporters because our own country has done the most unconscionable, immoral, and heinous act towards children. Imagine if your own children were ripped from your arms. Imagine toddlers being imprisoned in cages. We are better than this. But if we cannot get our own Congress to act, then we have to go to international authorities.
You will hear students reading the words of children who are in detention.
My daughter and I are from Honduras. She is 9 years old. We left Honduras to escape death threats from gang members. We were taken in a bus about 30 minutes away to La Perera, the dog cage. When we arrived, there were 3 completely full cells. I saw children crying in a cage. Their mothers were in one cage, and their children were in another, crying for their mothers. The mothers tried to reach their children, and I saw children pressing up against the fence of the cage to reach out, but officials pulled the children away and yelled at the mothers.
We stand here today in front of the Palace of Nations to speak out in defense of the founding principles since World War II of our international order, the defense of humanity, of justice, of morality, and most importantly, the defense of children in a supposedly just and free America. Migrant children are crying as they are growing up in detention, far from their families' arms. They are living in camps, not with their families. They are crying out for help, and we, as the international community, must help them.
Right to safety and protection before law, right of child, right of family reunification. All these rights are being violated at the U.S Mexico border. Unfortunately, across the globe, refugees are facing the same dangers, desperation and exploitation.
Cada día son más los menores que se suman a las filas de migrantes, muchas veces solos. Imaginemos su dolor y hagamos oír sus voces. Sumemos nuestras voces para exigir basta, aulas, no jaulas para estos niños y niñas.
No one runs from home unless your house is on fire. We as Education International stand in full solidarity with the defenders of the rights of students, of children, of families who are running from houses on fire. This is who we are, and it matters very, very deeply for us that the American Federation of Teachers and CNTE and STUNAM are working together. That gives us hope. That is solidarity.
Hasta la fecha hay más de 3,000 niños que han sido separados de sus padres en la frontera y las autoridades migratorias los encierran en jaulas. Así como es, se reconoce que estos menores pasaron en promedio 154 días separados de sus padres, distribuidos entre 17 estados de la Unión Americana.
I have the privilege to fight for families to be reunified across the border every single day. I have met hundreds of them who continue to this very day to be separated from their children. They've done nothing wrong. They have exerted their human right to present themselves for asylum, and then they were tricked by our inhumane government to be separated from their children. Some of them were deported back to their home countries. Others were told that if they signed a certain form or went to a certain place, that they would see their children immediately. And to this day, they still have not seen them. Today, along with our colleagues from the AFT and all these wonderful unions and workers from around the world, we ask that the government suspends this inhumane policy of family separation and reunifies every family, and to implement humane policies at the border, because we know that to migrate and to ask for asylum, it is not a crime, it is our human right.
Families belong together. Classrooms, not cages. Families belong together. Classrooms, not cages.
Children belong in a classroom, not in cages.
It was definitely very eye-opening, just trying to imagine what these kids are going through. And there it felt like you didn't have space, you couldn't really move around, and I can't even begin to imagine what this must be like.
They're so much younger than us. They were saying that a girl that was 2.5 died in there.
Not having any parent or legal guardian, just being completely alone and having to follow what a nice officer is telling you after walking for hours and hours and hours just to try to find a better life, and it all turns out you're going to be imprisoned.